Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Sama, on Twitter, a member of the Hashira Podcast, a pillar here where we discuss all things anime and nerd. We are excited to bring to you our first giveaway where we'll be giving away a year subscription to Crunchyroll so that you can watch some anime and we can share with you some of the things that we talk about all the time. You can join in on the conversation, even tell us what you're watching, and have us talk about it as well in the comments, or even make a video about some of these things. The winner will be announced in the next episode. You have until September 2nd from when this video was aired in order to put your name down and answer the question at the end of the video. And that's how we're going to find out who is being entered into the drawing to win this prize. You have to answer the question at the end of the podcast, and when you come up in the comments, we'll take your names and we'll automatically put them into the drawing so that you can be picked out as a winner to get that yearly subscription to Crunchyroll. And therefore you can join in the conversation and stuff like that and come to the meeting with us prepared by watching some videos and learning some things. So good luck to all of you who are going to do it. Again, you have until September 2nd in order to answer the question, and the winners will be posted on September 4th on my Twitter and on the rest of the Pillars Twitter as well, so you guys can see who won. So thanks for watching, thanks for being a member of the meetings of the Pillars, and thanks for joining the conversation so we can all talk about this anime stuff and all that nerd stuff. So till next time, stay nerdy, my friends. Enjoy the episode. Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan Sama on Twitter. Over there is Travis, aka Goose the Truth. Up there is Kadeem, aka Black by Nature. What? Is it? It's still Black by Nature. I'm right?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
And over there is Tommy, aka Nobunaga Deno, also on Twitter. Please give us a follow and all that good stuff. But we are here as the Hashira Podcast, discussing all things anime and nerd. Just coming to talk about, I guess, some more new popular anime after talking about Tower of God. We wanted to come back giving our thoughts about something new, something different. Well, if you read the manhwa, as you know, Tommy up there, Nobunaga, is a avid reader of manga and manhwa, then you know that this has already been out for a while. I've also had a chance to look it over like years ago. But if you haven't guessed it by now, we're definitely talking about that God of High School. A very action-based, it's high-paced too, sort of anime. It's finally been animated, and there are a couple of episodes that are out, and yeah, it's interesting. I like the animation of it. I like the way it's coming to life. So I guess just with that, without even getting too far into like topics or nothing like that, real quick, what are your thoughts on what's going on in this anime so far? Like, how do you feel about the way that it's been animated? How do you feel it's translating, Tommy? Because I know you're obviously reading it ahead. Like, how do you feel about it?
So I've only seen 2 episodes so far, but I do think that it's going really well. I think in the second episode he fought the other guy who's using legs or whatever. I forget the guy's name because he sucks. But there was a scene when they were fighting. I think he threw multiple punches.
You said he sucks? So deep.
Well, anyways, like I think he threw multiple punches, and like that animation scene, just like it was so good.
Yeah, he was fighting the Tai Chi guy. It was amazing. Yeah, freaking dope.
Okay, so it was that guy.
Yeah, it was really good.
So, it being a manhwa, and I'm instantly going to compare it to Tower of God. I think the animation style for Tower of God was kind of lackluster. But with this, they did such a good job. Although they did skip a lot of stuff in the manhwa itself, especially the beginning opening. It didn't even start off like that. There was a little bit more to it.
Oh.
As you said, the pacing is fast. And for everybody that is complaining about pacing and certain artists I'm not going to mention with the slow pacing, this is not, this is not that. So if you're looking for the fast-paced action, I mean, this is actually really good. And I'm way ahead of where it's at right now. I'm sure I'm like a couple seasons ahead. But,
is this also,
I like the
is this also mono?
Huh?
This is also a mono?
Mono? Yeah, this is mono.
It's been out for a while too. It's been out for a while.
Oh, a long time. It's the chapters are in the 400s, and I haven't caught up. I haven't been reading it that much, so I think I was like at 360 or something like that. But
Excellent.
Anyways, it was really good from what I've seen so far, and it was just the 2 episodes. So I would definitely recommend that to, I don't know, pretty much whoever.
I
Whoever likes a fast-paced action.
before
It doesn't
Anime.
necessarily have to be whoever likes fast paced, but if you're looking for a good action based anime, that's definitely something I would be looking at.
I mean, but it's super. It's so action, like it's so action packed, and it's so
Yeah.
quick that it takes off like so. Like before I even could like, and like I said, I didn't. I'm not like I don't read the manhwa avidly, but like I definitely read a couple. Like I have a couple friends who like posted up in different like chats I'm in, and so I've seen a lot of like the panels, and like to see that and action for the first couple of episodes of a season, I was just like, yo, this thing is moving so fast and everything is coming at you so fast, and it's just like wow, like it's a lot. Like I just yeah, it was a lot to take in, so quickly. So I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it, y'all. I couldn't help it.
Nah, that was good. You saved yourself.
So
Definitely did. Definitely did.
so but yeah,
Well, let
so
me, so is this because I haven't watched it. I know Kadeem gave us a homework. My bad, Kadeem, for not doing homework. Is this similar to what's the anime I always bring up, Tom? Tetsuya.
Oh, Tenjo Tenki.
Yeah, is it similar to that? Like in
Is it
terms of
similar?
Plot?
No,
Oh, plot is different.
It's-
so can we
it's-
go into plot a little
it's
bit?
way
What's
off.
plot?
I mean, the crazy thing is, Travis, we can't go into plot because we don't even have that much of it yet. Like that's the crazy. Like it's
Yeah.
not even a joke, Trav. That's how
It's
fast
seven,
it's moving.
Yeah, 7 episodes out.
You would
It's-
get the plot at 7. You should at least get understanding.
All right.
You
what-
should, but
So there's a tournament happening where they're crowning the god of high school, and if you win it, you get whatever you
Amazing.
want. And that's like exactly. So everybody watching, if you have been watching the Hashira Podcast for a while, you know that Tommy, aka Nobunaga, up there is always talking about how he feels that tournament style writing is lazy writing because it's automatically giving you a place in which to show your characters doing stuff and add in a little flashback, so then you get the backstory at the same time they're showing their abilities. And Tom always says that
That's all you got.
even with Dark Tournament, right, Tom? That's what you were saying. I remember that
Yeah.
we were having this conversation. And so, but that is the plot technically, Trav. That's what we have right now. Like they're showing a little things that are happening on the side that's changing up what's happening. But at its base, it's a tournament. If you win it,
but that's
you get whatever you want.
but question about that. How
Mm.
that's lazy. Well, would you say that's still lazy writing today? Because being that the manga is still going on,
and it's Korean.
is it still
And it's Korean.
Huh?
And it's Korean.
right?
I feel like you got to give them a little bit of.
wait. No, I'm not gonna
No.
discriminate. You know,
No,
if
I
you
think you
write
should.
the tournament,
I think you should be.
you're lazy.
No, I think you should be a little. Okay, so we gotta think about like this. Anime and manga has been not that I know much about manga, but manga is technically based on computers. No, if I'm not mistaken, that's a computer comic. Isn't that?
It's a
what it is?
webtoons,
It's a
yes,
webtoon.
webtoons, it's a
Okay.
webtoon.
So, with that said, now this is the and manhwa
Mm.
now being translated into anime. So now we have a conversion of Korea and Japan. Now, Japanese people have been doing this for quite some time. It's possible that Koreans now want to get their whatever wet now, get their stories going and whatnot.
Mhm.
There's a chance. I've never read any other manhwas besides, I think, what was it? Tower of God is the first one I've ever gotten into.
Sweet Home,
okay.
I love Sweet Home.
What's-
Sweet Home's so good. And
Okay.
Solo Leveling, good.
Okay, so here we
No,
are.
no.
Can we not
yeah,
say that?
you can't.
Can we not say that these I can say that maybe Koreans now, artists, are trying to get into this movement of making these type of shows, and it's a start. It's
But
a
I
start.
would- but you know
they
what?
wanna
I see what
dabble
you're
in
saying.
this
Mhm.
tournament thing.
I
They
know.
wanna
I see
dabble.
what you're saying, Travis. But I think it's very, very safe to assume that that culture of manga and everything has been adopted to whatever Korea, whatever, such a long time ago. They should already. And besides writing manhwas, I'm sure there's tons of artists. I'm not gonna say artists, but authors that get the gist of what they should be doing, what makes up a good manga, and everything like that. So,
Mm.
regardless of where you are, I guess geographically, the tournament style is just too lazy. But when it comes to God of High School, if you're looking for a good story, then I wouldn't say it's up there. if you're looking for action, that's what I'm gonna put it up there with. It's just like the action is like top notch.
That's what I was asking you. Like, would you still use that lazy term when it comes to God of High School, being that the manhwa is still going on?
It's lit, of course.
400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
400 chapters.
You saw, y'all saw Travis's face, y'all. He was like 400.
Yeah,
oh
One Piece is
God.
almost 1,000. Come on.
No, but One Piece is not purely tournament based. Like,
Right.
You know,
It's nowhere near tournament based.
that's what I'm saying. And yet you read it. Look, okay, so let's think about like lazy writing. Because remember, things usually have to be comic book, we'll say comic book, manga, whatever, manga, before it becomes animated, right? And becoming animated is a big thing. I think it's a big thing for Koreans as well as it is for Japanese. Like,
of course,
they'll say congratulations.
I would think that's a huge accomplishment.
It's a huge
Gigantic,
compliment. They say congratulations, you know, and all that stuff. For you to have 400, and you're up there, you're still reading 400 chapters, and still be all about tournament. I can't really.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah,
Wait, that's the question. Exactly, right, Travis? Exactly. So the question is, Nobunaga, is it still tournament based? All the chapters you're in?
Yeah.
No.
Ah, there it goes. See, there it goes. But
there is more than one tournament. There is more than one tournament.
That's what I was about to ask. Okay.
It's not solely like, I would say the worst. I wouldn't call it worst, my bad, but people that frequently use it the most are Dragon Ball Z for sure.
I was just about to, because Dragon Ball Z every minute there's a tournament.
So it's not as bad as Dragon Ball Z, but there is more than one tournament. I think there's about 3 as far as where I'm at right now.
That's not bad. It's 400 in, and it's only 3.
I mean,
and the funny thing is, like,
the goose isn't buying it, y'all. The goose isn't buying it
the right way, huh?
No, I was looking at Travis's face. I was like, the goose isn't buying it.
Because like, how many tournaments does Dragon Ball have? Like the whole Dragon. How many tournaments have we? You have Cell, right? We have what we just
Dragon Ball Z
recently, right? And we have so I'm thinking if I can. It sounds like 4. It's like 4.
But if you go way back to Dragon Ball, if you go back to Dragon Ball,
okay, all right. So like 5.
We don't have to go back to Dragon Ball. We're talking about Z. The Majin Buu saga had.
Majin Buu saga is a tournament. Cell is a tournament. The way they did fighting Nappa and Vegeta, they did it tournament style. So they had Nappa going first, fighting in person. They did, yeah, no, but it was tournament style. Like if you couldn't.
Okay, it's because you go in after
tournament is like with the whole ring out, you got the audience and everything. No.
Okay, so if we're going specific, like super tournament
specifically, there's a ring.
Yeah.
But they blew up the Cell Games ring. Technically, they blew it up,
bro. But didn't they have that world tournament just to go into a bigger world tournament, like a Galaxy or
it's
something?
5 or 6 in total, like 5 or 6.
Yeah, in Super. So if we're talking Super, there was a tournament to get into the tournament power. Yeah.
It's 5 or 6 in total from Dragon Ball all the way now to Super. It's like 5 or 6.
Well, I mean, Super was purely written like that. But I think more along the lines of like, I think what happens is in manhwa is that we see that they obviously are getting a lot of their ideas from manga and other people who have already been writing and you know, kind of animating this stuff. And I feel like that's why we see a lot of them. Yeah, we see a lot of. Remember, we were talking about Tower of God, and we were talking about how we see a lot of the tropes from anime that are just super prevalent in Tower of God, and it's because of how much inspiration that they're getting from the manga. So now if we're watching this one and we see a lot of the action-based tournament-style stuff that they're adapting probably from a passionate kind of like, I looked up to this before, it was a passion of mine, I love the way it was written before, and now I want to do it as well, and then we're going to see that kind of happening in a manhwa. I think that's what we're seeing now. I think that's why a lot of the more popular webtoons that are lasting longer, that are getting animated, are going to be things that were based off of things that we've already seen before,
I agree with
that they're
100%.
inspiration of.
Because you mentioned Solo Leveling. That's probably like my favorite manga.
I've heard, I've read some of it. It's pretty amazing. I love that, and I love Sweet Home.
It's so good.
So good.
But I feel like the writer sat down and watched Hunter x Hunter and was like, all right, now I'm about to start writing.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole idea of there being hunters, and then there's an arc where
that goes exactly what I was saying. That goes exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Koreans are really
even with the classes.
Yeah. The Koreans are looking up to. They look up to. A
Well,
lot
of
of the
course,
manga
but I
are
mean,
made for Japan, and
but yeah, that,
Well, yeah,
that would
Japan is the
happen.
epitome of
Exactly, they
that.
were most popular. Exactly, if they were the ones that were popularly doing something, and of course, I feel like everybody else would all, especially people who are writing the manhwas in a
you
style
can
that's very specific. You knew it was gonna happen that
right.
way.
You can make a plot off
Yeah.
a tournament anime based anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, and it can still be good. I don't see. I don't think it's. I don't think it's.
did it 100%.
I don't. But I don't. But why are we using the word lazy? What I'm saying. Because there's still
It's
character
lazy
development.
because it's too, in my mind, it's too easy. Like it's so easy to give everything.
It's a
up.
genre.
Like, you already know where everything is heading. Like, all right, this team's gonna face this team. All right, and then something's gonna happen in between those fights where it's gonna kind of steer off from the main tournament for a little bit, and they're gonna come right back, and then they're gonna power up in between matches and do something else. It's all the same.
Yeah, I hear
You
you.
do some-
I hear you, bro.
But
Because
it's a genre.
do
It's a
some
genre.
off-screen train-
though.
I
It's
mean,
a genre.
but
I
even
don't
if it's a genre, Travis, like I hear what Tommy's saying, because like even when I'm watching God of High School, right? In the beginning, a couple of episodes, you're like, all right, these are the characters that they are focusing on. So we know that these characters have to make it to the next round. So now we know that they're not going to fight each other as the tournament progresses, because we know how this tournament style writing is going to go.
And
It's like I
another
knew
thing
it.
that makes it lazy is you don't have to worry about introductions for characters. Like you instantly just bring them in, and then
Mm-hmm.
like Maury said, you can easily tell their backstory, a little flashback. And God of High School is doing that
They sure did.
for just about every single character that enters
Mhm.
the ring. They show a small backstory, they do their fight, and then they move on. And it's just repeat for every character. that's coming in.
So that just sounds like a Korean Dragon Ball Z then.
Well, nah, I wouldn't say necessarily Dragon Ball Z, because it's a
Nah.
very different
Dragon
looking
Ball Z.
thing.
Well,
Dragon Ball Z has a lot.
I'm saying the fact that the introduction of the character, the small backstory, the whole tournament background, that concept I'm talking about with like Dragon, not the whole embodiment of it.
But even with that,
Well, Dragon Ball Z is not fully a tournament base.
no, it's not.
And
No,
yeah,
it
that's not the
definitely
genre of
Mm-mm.
Dragon.
But not God of High School isn't either. We're just getting that tournament style at the beginning.
I agree. And if anything, the only I would say, okay, so in terms of tournament anime, I would say Hajime no Ippo is definitely tournament anime.
Grappler Baki,
For
of
sure.
course.
for sure.
Grappler Baki is
Kagen Ashura.
Yes,
Yep.
Kengan Ashura.
Kengan Ashura was
Yeah.
Kengan
That's
Ashura
what-
reminded it was like I thought I was watching
they
Baki
ruined
one
that
time.
shit. Baki just wasn't made for story. It was just made for just
Yeah, it was made sure
gruesomeness
it
of what they're doing to one another. It's just crazy what they were doing.
was
Yeah.
madness.
These guys are just mutilating each other.
And it's a
That's
great,
it.
but it's not. But I wouldn't. But the term when we say word, okay, so give me a non-lazy anime.
You know
a
he's gonna.
non-lazy.
You know he's gonna say.
Yeah, you already know. I don't even have to.
Go
I
ahead,
don't
go
have
ahead,
to
Tommy.
answer
Say it.
that.
I know he's gonna say. Go say it, Tommy.
Definitely.
There you go. I'm about to say we know he's gonna say.
I was gonna say whatchamacallit,
What you call?
Seven Deadly Sins.
Hmm?
I can easily answer another. I hate that anime.
Seven Deadly Sins.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Y'all heard it here first on the Hashira
It's good.
Podcast.
I don't know.
Nobunaga Deno hates Seven Deadly
that,
Sins.
that anime is good, bro. It's good.
But I don't know.
I
I
can
don't know if it's
continue
not
to
non-lazy.
answer that.
I feel like it's straightforward.
You
I feel
think
like it's very
Berserk was
straightforward. Seven Deadly
was
Sins.
lazily written?
I don't think it was lazy, but I don't think it was non-lazy. I think it was very. It's not. It's. I don't think that the anime has much thought into it. I get. You know what? Let me take that.
What are we talking about?
Seven
Berserk?
Deadly
Yeah, we just talk about Berserk or Seven Deadly Sins. Oh,
No, Berserk has thought.
Oh,
Berserk has thought.
Of course, Berserk.
thank
has
you,
thought.
thank you, thank
Berserk
you,
has
thank
thought.
you, thank
Like
you.
I can't even.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, Berserk has thought for sure. Seven Deadly Sins. It's good. I'm not gonna take away from it. It's good, but I don't think it's as. I don't think it's as complex. Let's use the word complex. I don't think it's as complex as Berserk. I don't think it's as complex as.
I can't really go back and I can't go back and forth with that because I never watched Berserk, read it or watched it.
Okay, but so like, all right. So let's look. Give me another one that you think was. Let's use the word complex. Let's go. Let's go towards the route of complex. what would you say is a complex anime that you've watched? And we're not talking about Death Note and Kogi. Those are.
I won't. I'm not. I
No,
wouldn't.
no,
I wasn't gonna say
I was-
anything.
I was
Okay.
gonna bring-
I
was
wasn't
bring
gonna
those
say
up. I was
anything.
gonna bring those up.
I wasn't gonna say a word.
I was specifically on Kadim, but if you guys want to see, but I specifically want Kadim to answer. Specific.
Yeah, you're gonna conflict. You're gonna have to get back to me on that.
I mean,
okay.
I didn't have one
Because,
that was
because,
complex.
Like, the animes that I have, they're like subpar. They're not.
They're not complex.
Well, I mean, but if you
Nah.
feel like there's thought putting into it, then I mean,
I could
there's
name-
nothing
I
wrong
could
with
probably
saying
name
what
a
that is.
couple more. I mean,
I could say,
It's a true good story right there. That's a story.
Berserk is amazing.
My hero is starting out to be a real good anime.
I mean,
And Black Clover.
okay,
We're not
but
talking
do,
about making it good. We're talking about what's making it more complex. I mean,
Yeah,
as far as story. Depth,
Yeah, story, like depth.
well,
Okay,
Tommy said
okay,
Death Note, and Travis took away Code Geass, but I'm gonna put Code Geass back there because you can't take away what I want. In my
Well, because
life.
we know they're complex.
Um,
They're automatically when it's a think piece. It's complex.
Listen, we can't break. We gotta
If it's
talk
a-
about.
I mean, I'm not talking about it. I was naming one. The question
No,
was
I
to
think-
name one. I wasn't getting into So my thing with so my thing with the Seven Deadly Sins is I don't think that is complex at all. But what I do like about Seven Deadly Sins is the way that they find a way to make certain things work. Like Escanor is overpowered, but he's good at being overpowered, and therefore we like him
look at him,
even though
I
he's
like it.
overpowered. Escanor is
Yeah, the
amazing.
character's cool.
He is OP made right. Like he's just good.
Yeah.
Like to the point where I bet you everybody who was watching Seven Deadly Sins was like, oh, the main character's gonna beat him because he's the main character, and Escanor was like, no, sit your behind down, Meliodas. Mind your business. You're not finna beat me. Like, but that was a turn to me that was really cool. And I feel like even with animes that are straightforward like that, and I guess aren't too complex in writing, when you see something that's done right in anime like that, it makes me want to watch more of it.
Right.
So like I said, I couldn't name another complex one right off the bat, but
I'll
I
give
feel
you
like
that.
I feel like Hunter x Hunter is complex though. But that's me. I feel like Hunter is
Yes,
complex.
I was definitely about to name.
I feel like Hunter is complex. I feel like we could definitely drop Hunt. We could drop what's his name, Tagashi. We could drop Tagashi down there, bro.
Say no, Travis. Just say no.
I feel like it is.
Listen, I'm dropping My Hero in there, man.
You can't drop My Hero. Well, I'm not gonna say you can't, but I disagree.
Why?
I mean,
You don't feel like it has
What
like
makes
a
the
lot of
story-
Naruto aspect to it?
What,
nothing
Co-
about
Hunter?
My Hero-
Black Clover.
Hunter?
Black Clover has a lot of
Nah.
Naruto aspect
Hun-
to it. Not
Hunter-
My Hero.
I mean, we've talked about this in detail. Everybody, viewers, we've talked about this in detail another time, and I don't want to get too close into it and jump into it all over again. But Hunter x Hunter to me is definitely complex because of the way that they make sure that everything is tied to themes, and themes make characters, and characters make themes, and those things make the world. And in doing so, it is a big infinity or tiny kind of like figure eight of themes that work together to make sure every character is put in a way that is super dope. And it's not like, oh, we know these guys are gonna go do this. It's not, because like, all right, we know one character won the revenge against the Phantom Troop, right? But we don't end up having to deal with all of it right away. It's not streamlined. It's like, oh, he's gonna go have an arc where it's just them dealing with the. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's he deals with one, then we go back, we deal with another thing, but then we also have to learn why these things are happening. And there's some things that pop up that I was just like, wait, I didn't think that was gonna happen. Not only that, we also see the way that they express Nen and the way they deal with abilities in that show. I just are absolutely phenomenal and creative.
That in
I really
itself
think
is
it's just
really,
amazing.
I think Naruto has complexity. I think Naruto has.
I think the symbolism in the show is very complex, especially religious symbolism. The character development is insane in that show. It's crazy, especially everybody.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
It really is though.
You're right. You're right. I'm not.
I'm
You're,
gonna-
you're right. You're
The
right.
one character that I've seen craziest development was Yuppie.
Mm.
His development was in that short matter of time in that one arc was crazy, and so was Meruem's. Meruem's was tons of development.
You're right.
But
I agree. So Naruto
I
has.
mean, did you
complexity.
watch?
Naruto has complexity.
But do you feel like Naruto's complex because of
But
the
not-
characters or because of the world? I feel like the reason I give Hunter
The world too. Characters. I found myself going on Wiki so many times to figure out who was whose parents and like what tribe they may be coming from, and like wait, hold on, what? Like this. Let me double back
So-
again to make sure like who's you know, how does this person know this person or whatever the backstory between.
Wait. You think Do you think that's what makes it complex though?
I think that adds complexity.
Naruto has a very big cast of characters from many
I think that adds the
regions.
complexity. I think that adds the complexity. Yeah.
I don't think that Naruto is complex because the difference between them is in Hunter x Hunter we see the world and the characters working together in a way that is different than what we normally see. We see abilities that come differently. We see that Nen and how it works with them is different. We see that the way that even like hunters in themselves getting hunter cards, the way that technology is with it. There's so many things that are intertwined in the way the plot is written and the way that things happen and come at you in like different directions that it's not the same. While Naruto is kind of like it's straightforward. We know what they want to do, but the characters make it more intriguing, make it more interesting, make it more something we want to watch because of the characters. But we know that at the end of the day, they're ninjas from different villages who had a war, and after the war are trying to chill. And some haven't some haven't got over the war in their past situations and so forth and so on. It is still very to the point and precise. Where Hunter is just like there are hunters that are doing these things. But all hunters don't have to be good at all. But you can still be a hunter. Like there's so many different like aspects to how we put it together.
There's different shinobis.
There are
different shinobis.
There are different shinobis, but they're all still shinobi. Like there's a difference between.
The show is a shinobi show.
Yeah, Travis, it is. I'm not saying it's not.
There's
but
not even
it's
a true villain in Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, exactly. Hunter is very different. There's nothing that's it's not straightforward.
You can't say that Hunter x Hunter is not done though. Naruto is finished.
Yeah, but even in Naruto, we had an idea of where things were going with the Akatsuki. They gave us an idea where things were going. Yeah, with the Akatsuki. Hold up, I see Goose. I see that, but you don't think that in Naruto we kind of knew where it was going, as opposed to where Hunter we still don't necessarily know where it's going.
Okay. Just like the Phantom trope is the Akatsuki. We all thought the Akatsuki was the main villain that everyone was gonna fight at the end, when it totally wasn't.
But I didn't think. But you thought the Phantom Troop was gonna be
complexity.
But I don't think that the Phantom Troop was gonna be the end. They never in Hunter. They never showed that.
That's what I asked you the last time we had the talk. I asked you
the Akatsuki played such a major role as a means of helping the main villain. Though.
Exactly.
I could never see the Phantom Troop.
Exactly.
Because the anime is not done, but you can't say that because Hunter x Hunter is not done, so you don't know what's gonna happen.
No,
but
you can easily
even though it's not done. I'm sorry, Tom. My bad. Go ahead, Tom.
No, you never know. The writer might throw a curveball. You don't know. You can't.
He's not gonna make them a great character to be somebody who's working under, or to make the Phantom Troop work under somebody like that's, I guess, apparently above them. This is not going to work out that way. They work on their own terms and they do their own thing.
So boom. How do you know that? Because just like how with the whole the Phantom Troop, if one person dies, they just get another person to replace that person. No. What if
the spider has to live on? That's what they always say.
Right. What if the person that they replace becomes a mold for someone else?
But even if they do that, the head of the spider. Nah, but the head of the spider is still their own. It's still the head. Like Crollo still decides what's going to happen, regardless of what the legs do. Right. Which is why, even though Hisoka joined for a bit and they didn't understand his intentions, it didn't matter because Crollo is the one who gets to decide what's going to happen.
Hisoka wasn't even a real spider.
Exactly. But I'm saying, just based off of like Kadeem saying, like somebody joins and becomes a mole, we still see that it doesn't matter because Crollo is going to do things the way that Crollo wants to do it. Again, going back to what Tommy was saying, the Akatsuki themselves played a big role in Naruto. The thing in Hunter x Hunter, the Phantom Troop is the Phantom Troop, and it's great and all. But a lot of the episodes and a lot of the things that were happening weren't based off the Phantom Troop's actions in the background. They weren't. Only when we saw Kurapika, shout out to one of the greatest moments in anime. I always shout this out, bringing the shovel with him. But even when we saw those things happening, it still wasn't like this is exactly what the show is only about. Right? In Naruto, the Akatsuki were the main people that they were, going through, fighting the different members, getting through it. Pain kills Jiraiya. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things happen.
In all honesty, if he killed off the Phantom Troop for like a long time, it wouldn't really affect
the show would continue. The show would continue, and that's what makes it different. That's why they can't be the same.
Yeah, but that's okay. So that is the purpose of the that was Naruto then. Akatsuki. How did they say the guy's name?
Akatsuki.
Okay.
They were the means behind the 10 Tails because they were collecting all these.
Which
And even if
What?
whether
I thought that was,
whether
wasn't
they're right
that,
or
wasn't that
not,
Kaguya's?
whether they're right or not, that doesn't
Uh-huh.
that still doesn't stop it from being complex. It doesn't stop it from us thinking about Nagato, who was actually the main person of pertaining to the story of Jiraiya's book. It doesn't stop it from Nagato actually being behind Pain, who was his best friend, who was already dead, and we didn't understand why this guy was still moving around. We find out Nagato's actually controlling him from the behind the scenes. It doesn't stop it from Pain believing that he's the true person behind Akatsuki, but it's really somebody who's been dead for some time now, right? Who was part of the Uchiha clan. That doesn't, like all these things
Right.
that we found out later on is phenomenal, complex. I'm gonna use the word.
And
It was a complex-
nobody can sit there. Nobody can sit there and
Come
say
on
that
now.
I seen that coming.
Come
Nobody
on
can sit
now.
there and say I seen that coming.
Yo,
I
when they revealed
did,
Obito,
though.
I
Yeah,
saw that coming.
exactly. Yeah, I agree with Tommy. Once we realized that Obito was definitely the head
We were reaching towards the end
of the
this
Akatsuki,
thing.
but no, because we
What
knew
does that mean?
Toby was running
Listen,
stuff
listen.
once they revealed
Everybody
Toby's
knew-
deeper voice. Once Toby started talking with a deeper
Nah,
voice, we knew who he was running it. Yes, we did. When he met Sasuke and started talking with Sasuke, the 5 Kage summit happened. We knew that Pain was not the person that was really running the Akatsuki. We found out all these
We
things.
knew, or we
I-
had
we
an
knew.
idea
Yeah, we
it was
knew.
possible, and we were still trying
Nah,
to figure out.
we knew because even in our chat, in our separate chat, when we were watching it together, even all of us were saying in there, but I think it was me, Ed, I think Tommy included. We were all like, "Yo, that's got to be Obito. That's got to." We all knew already. Like we was like, "Yo, that's Obito.
We were saying
Okay,
that's
but
got
time
to
out.
That's Obito."
There's still the signs led to it being Obito. There were multiple signs of it being led to Obito.
Exactly.
But the backstory on how it came to be Obito, that was ridiculous.
Go Kadeem.
But okay, but no one's saying the story's not good.
I don't-
See, no one's saying the story's not good. We're saying what's
I
no,
don't think
it's
that
not
makes it
complexity.
complex,
Just because
though.
something
I
is
think
good doesn't make it
that's
complex. Nah.
I
Just
think
because it's
that's
good
what
doesn't make it
story
complex.
writing-
Hold on, the debate here is lazy writing compared to complex. Okay.
No, this is
There's a
not
lot
the
of
debate.
story.
The debate is
There's a lot of
the
story
complexity
that
of
goes
Hunter.
into Naruto. There's a lot of
There-
lot of stuff that goes
There
into
is a
Naruto
lot
in
of story that
general.
goes into Naruto. Yes. And a
I
lot
think
of the
that's
stories
good
and
That's
writing.
themes
what
are
complex-
great.
that's what I'm talking
It was
about in
written
terms of
well.
writing.
And
Complex.
but you know it was written
Now,
well
now
because
there's-
I've said I agree, right? I've said that Naruto has been written well. I will always say that. I love Naruto
That's what
for
I'm
what
saying.
it is.
I think that
It's
what
written
you guys
well.
are describing
But
is
when we're talking
well.
about complexity, we're talking about the themes and the way that they intertwine in the show to make it different. In the base of Naruto, the way that chakra is used is just power that is built up to be more
But that's
power.
not my. That's okay. So that's
And
not what
I'm talking about.
That's not what I'm saying. Only pertains to complex.
But-
That's what I'm saying. I'm just clarifying that.
But I'm not But I'm not saying that's the only thing that makes it complex. It is how these things all work together, overarching to make something complex. In order to be complex, it's got to be more things that make you think in a different way that you don't necessarily. You're not looking. You can't predict. You don't know exactly what's going to
All right.
happen because of the
Okay.
way it's written. In Naruto, it's still straightforward. Like it was a lot of like the war, the ninja stuff. We saw the Great Ninja War at the end of it. We saw a lot of those things come together in a way that we knew it was going to have to come together. Especially after
Okay,
the 5
so
Kage
Tom-
Summit, once Sasuke turned bad with like we saw these things happening. But I'm sorry, go ahead, my bad.
So Tommy, let me ask you a question. This is about Hunter x Hunter because Maurice said something that caught my attention. You said that Naruto is straightforward. Now, who replaced what is his name? Uryu, that Kurapika killed,
Tamauro again?
or whoever the hell it was.
Karuto replaced Hisoka.
Okay, all right, but is it a boy or girl? Whoever, is he not, or he or she not related to Killua? So you think Killua's not gonna have no type of influence on her while she's on the Phantom Troop in the future?
Why would he? Illumi's a part of the Phantom Troop right now. I mean,
Okay. Now, okay, that too. You can't say. Look how close that Killua is with that specific sibling, not the weird-looking one that does that wishes and all that. Look how close he is with that
Danica?
sibling. You don't think that Killua is gonna have some type of influence on that girl in the future to figure out how to beat the Phantom Troop?
That's not
mainly
his goal, though. His
Frollo.
goal is not to beat the Phantom Troop. That's strictly Kurapika.
That's not the question. That's not the question.
Will he have influence on her? Probably not.
Why?
I mean, why would he? He's doing totally something way differently. And Illumi's purpose for being on the Phantom Troop right now is to kill Hisoka. And that's what their main goal is right now. It's killing Hisoka. Gon and Killua aren't even present right now. So
we're talking about main goals then.
Okay, now, time out.
All right,
Hold on.
the only reason.
But we all know the Phantom Troop want to go after Kurapika, and you think that Killua was not going to want to protect Kurapika. So you don't think Killua is going to influence the little girl to protect his friend?
Protect
Kurapika. Let's say that.
Kaluto he's gonna influence Kaluto to save Kurapika. Their main goal is not even Kurapika at the moment, so I couldn't even say. Like, I can't say.
But come on. But look where they're at in the manga.
Yes, look where they're at. Killua's not present. Kurapika is present. Hisoka is present. So who's to say that?
Present.
Who's to say that Kurapika doesn't kill Kaluto? Who's to say Hisoka doesn't kill Kaluto? I mean, I don't know. There's so much going on right now.
So honestly, here's what I'm hearing. It sounds as if, and I'm not saying that you hate Naruto or you dislike it, but it sounds like your main argument is predictability. That's what it sounds like. And if that's the case, then I can't agree with you about Naruto being not complex, because honestly, it's straight. It's a shinobi world. That's what we get from them. It has a map. There's different tribes. We're trying to figure out who belongs to who. Complexity goes into character. It goes into understanding characters. It goes understanding the why. Okay, yes, we understand. The main thing was to try and get Sasuke back, right? Okay, Sasuke leaves. We're trying to get Sasuke back. We're also trying to beat the clan. Okay, we understand that too. I talk about to the end. I'm talking about the KKK. That's okay. But anyways.
Whoa.
So we're trying to beat the clan. Right? Okay. Woo! Then we learn, and granted, you said you already knew about Obito, but I don't think everybody, the world did not know. Okay? People had ideas.
I don't care about the world. The fact that I was able to predict that from way beforehand, was just like, all right. When I saw it, I was like, all right.
I think it was a flip of the coin, though.
It was a letdown. It was a
letdown. It was. I said it was going to be a letdown if he was the person. But it was still a flip of the coin of like, is he really gonna do it?
Right. Let me ask you.
Before you ask your question, Kadeem, I also want to say
we still have the characters, by the way. We still have the characters. So
predictability doesn't necessarily mean complexity entirely. Okay. The fact that I felt like Naruto was more predictable than Hunter itself took away from some of its complexity, but you also stating that Naruto is a shinobi world. I mean, Hunter is a hunter world. People have certain goals that they want to have as hunters. Shinobis, for the most part, they're mostly geared towards, I would say, the main goal at hand, like the main theme that's going on right then and there in that anime.
Right.
But
so
as far
what makes
as Hunter
Naruto
goes,
not complex then? So what?
Wait, hold on. Don't ask that. Don't ask that question yet, because I'm still gonna emphasize about Hunter x Hunter is not finished yet. So you cannot solely.
We're going off of what we have so far, and it's a lot of material so far. So even if you were to call it quits today, that's more than enough material to determine whether or not this thing is complex. You're gonna say no. How many arcs do you have?
In Hunter, there's way too many open holes, bro. To end it just where it's at and be fine with it? No.
I don't care if there's open holes. There's still mysteries in Naruto that you don't even know, and it's over.
Okay.
So you can't say that. But you have enough material in Hunter right now to determine whether or not it's a complex anime.
It is a complex. I'm saying it is complex to me. Hunter's complex to me. My thing is to Maurice.
My fault, Travis.
Naruto's still complex.
To Maurice and Tommy.
It's not as complex as Hunter.
I didn't say that. I wouldn't even say that. I won't say that.
What-
I won't even say that. I won't even say that.
And trust
I'll
me,
let that rock.
by no means am I hating on Naruto. I think Naruto is amazing. I just kind of feel like you guys are somewhat mixing up great storytelling, or as storytelling being so good, you made it probably seem like it's very complex. I think you could have a very good story without complexity. I mean, to a certain degree.
Bro,
to a certain
not-
degree.
Really?
To a certain degree, yes. You can have a good story without a lot of complexity. But I just think Hunter
Hey,
blows
my Hunter,
Naruto
yeah.
away.
I agree with
Blows
that.
Naruto away in terms of complexity.
So,
What's your
but
question,
that's kind of, but that's my thing. I like Naruto's story better. I'm a Naruto fan over Hunter. I've always been. This is not something that's not known. Everyone knows that who hangs with me knows that I like Naruto more because one, I'm a character guy when I'm watching anime. When I'm watching things happen, I want more descriptive storylines for the characters. I want characters to be more involved with things that are happening in the world. I want all these things when I'm watching anime. These things keep me watching an anime. But I feel like Hunter is more complex as an anime because of how it's using what it's giving you. The material that's being given and shown to us comes forth in a way that's different than what we've seen normally. As a matter of fact, you hear Tommy Nobunaga all the time say it's an unconventional shonen because it was unconventional. It did things differently in a time and an era where things were going the same way. So much to a fault that even in the show, they hold that to such an extent that, like Tommy was saying, there's no way that I think later on that we're going to see Togashi just make characters do things that they don't normally do just to fit some random thing, like to make the Phantom trope the head of everything, because we already know that that the characters fit. If they end up being the boss of everything, it's because of whatever it is Chrollo wants to do that he's already been wanting to do. It's just something he's going to get done in the end. Like, the characters already fit a specific place. And the thing is, it's not just that. I like the way the themes and the story is told differently. It's never like we know they have to deal with the Phantom Troop, so they're going to fight every member until they get to the end. No, we saw the Phantom Troop pop up. Exactly, we saw the Phantom Troop pop up. We saw them deal with that. Then we saw them leave. We saw them have to deal with the Chimera Ants. We saw them have to do the tournaments in order to understand Nen. And even then, learning Nen was so... Nen is so complex in itself that they had to make sections of the anime to describe the powers that characters have because Nen is complex. It's not like chakra makes you stronger. You can form chakra to do things, and if your family's this, it will run into your family bloodline and you can do this with your chakra. No. Nen is, who are you? What do you like? What are the things that are in your personality? How do you form the energy around you? This becomes what you do. We get bungee gum from Hisoka because Hisoka is a troll and he likes to troll people. Therefore, a lot of the things, his manipulativeness, the way he likes to trick you, all these things come into his abilities, and that's why Hisoka is Hisoka. That's the difference that I see in Hunter and Naruto. It's not just the storytelling. It's about what is going on in it. I think Naruto is a better story, but I think Hunter is doing more with what we're given. That's why it's more complex. There's a lot more that's working around with the weaves. And like I said earlier, it is this big infinity or a tiny figure 8 of how the character themes and the abilities work together that we really see why Hunter is complex. So I guess I'll say what Tommy said. While Naruto may be great as a story and it may have its complexities, it is not as complex as Hunter because of the things that are happening with the material that we're given. Does that sound fair?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I disagree. But go ahead.
Why?
I mean,
listen, man. This is going to be a never-ending loop of tug of war. That a game of tug of war that's not going to end because I'm seeing things differently. Because
Just choose not to believe the Hunter is
no. Y'all just.
he said you don't understand the greatness of Hunter. Hunter is the best. So
I agree that it's not as complex, but I just don't want to. I just want to make sure that nobody's taking the complexity away from it.
Y'all just diminishing the. Listen, from how y'all talking, and then all of a sudden y'all like, nah. From how y'all talking, y'all just diminishing the complicity of Naruto.
No,
but
that's no one's diminishing it. No,
I'm giving Naruto its credit. It's just that you're comparing it to an anime
But Tommy, you just said that a great story doesn't mean it's going to be complex.
He's right though. Just because a story is great and told wonderfully does not mean it's a complex story. It just means that it's described well.
The argument for Naruto kind of says
the key thing, though, the key thing is that I said was to a certain degree. It doesn't have to be overly complex for it to be good.
Okay.
So Hunter, like I said, the whole Nen system, the way the characters are, I guess, operating, I would say, together within this whole world, not really operating together. It's just a lot going on within the whole world of Hunter.
All right, Hunter aside, because we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
Is Naruto a complex anime? I'm not saying as. I'm asking you, is Naruto a complex anime?
I mean, I think we all can agree and say yes, but just not to the same degree of.
See,
Hunter.
look, I didn't even. Why you gotta do that?
Yo.
It's in a whole different.
Oh my god.
Because
It's in a
Tommy had to
whole
make sure that you
different
understood that
class.
it's not on the same level. But I don't
You
think
need to know this.
I don't think that Naruto in itself is not complex. As a matter of fact, I think it was you yourself, Goose, who said in a couple episodes ago that we did, where we were talking about how the stories of characters made Naruto what it was, and then I also talked about how great the storytelling was when we talked about how things shaped the certain characters and how they became those characters. I think that those themes in themselves, in a way that we didn't see them coming, definitely made it more complex because it wasn't something that we saw, one, and two, it built them in ways that made sure that it was consistent, and it told a story that went all the way back through all the generations in order to wrap itself back around. I feel like that was pretty good. It was a good way to do it.
Full circle.
Yeah, when it full circles, you were like, oh, okay. There were some things I felt they threw in there to save themselves, like for some inconsistencies. Oh, go ahead.
The key difference, I think, for Naruto was the fact that it really pulled you in. Not so much. Hunter doesn't really do that so much. Like, you really, really end up feeling for whatever like character they are kind of like geared towards at that time. Like, they really pull you in. They pull the audience in, and I think the author really wants to get like some emotion out of the person that's watching.
Character driven, and that's what makes it. I think character driven is what makes anime great. Characters make animes great. Bad guys make arcs great. Characters and development and how they work within things make it great. Which is why, like you just said, Tom, the thing with Hunter is an anime to me that's solely liked and popular based off the fact that it's technically complex. You don't really fall for a character in Hunter. There are characters that you like, but you're not like Tommy said, you're not really trying to feel for them. In Naruto, we get caught up in the story and the themes that we feel for them, and that's the difference.
And that's true, because I truly don't really have a favorite character in Hunter. There's characters that I like, but I can easily be like, yo, Jiraiya's my favorite character. Shikamaru is like strong second, like easily. Because those characters easily just pulled me in, like, yo, that's what makes the show so good. Just watching that character do whatever he does. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't fully feel that way, because I like Phaeton a lot in Hunter. And it's just like, he barely has screen time, but I was like, yo, this is a dope ass character. This guy's pulling out the sun and just killing people. It's just really, it's really good.
All right.
So, I guess everyone who has joined us while we're sitting here at the meeting of the pillars, I guess, so that's our question to you. We wanted to talk about God of High School, and you realize we got like sidetracked because we were talking about complexity, we're talking about anime pacing, we're talking about story pacing, we're talking about story writing, we're talking about character development. We're talking about a lot of things that we feel that make anime what it is. So, I guess our question to you is, first off, answer this one. Do you feel that Hunter is more complex than Naruto, or do you feel that Naruto is more complex than Hunter x Hunter? That's number one. Please, in the comments below, answer that question. And even if you don't have to have a drawn out answer, if you just put Hunter or Naruto, and you can at Nippon Goose, Goose the Truth, you can add Travis or whatever, and put it down there so that we know who you're picking, or you could even put why. We'd love for you to join the conversation. But I guess the main question that I would like to ask to all of the viewers is simply this. What is a complex anime? So give us a name of one anime you think is complex. And if you want to drop why.
Steins Gate, slap yourself. Keep going.
Well, you heard that. If you answer with that one, get over. Not joking.
Crap.
So please answer that down in the comments below. Join the conversation in the comments below. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for all things that we're doing here at the meeting of the pillars. As always, stay safe in the corona times. And I would like to say a bigger thing that we at the Hashira Podcast want to do a giveaway. We realize that we talk about a lot of anime and we want to make that more accessible to you, the viewer, so that when we're having these conversations, you can talk with us, you can watch anime with us and stuff like that. So we will be giving away a 1-year subscription to Crunchyroll. And all you have to do is answer the questions that I've asked already in the comments below, and then we will put your names in a random generator, and we'll pick someone out, and we will message you. And once we do, we'll be able to send you the code so that you can have your Crunchyroll subscription for the year. That way you can join us in the conversation by watching the things that we're talking about, or even watching some stuff that you'll put a comment about so we can talk about it as well. So please join us in the conversation and here at the meeting of the pillars. As always, stay safe in the corona times. Black lives still matter, even if we're all caught up in the NBA and WAP. I just want to let you know that we still definitely matter. So this is us signing off. Stay nerdy, my friends.